Oil prices are at a 52-week low. Does this mean that it's a great time to start buying oil stocks and investing in them again? I'm going to give you my opinion on all of that and more coming up. Yes, so oil is trading at a 52-week low currently. Right now it's trading, as I'm recording this video, at $49 a barrel. It has been tanking over the last several weeks. And there's a lot of reasons as to why that is, but maybe you might be considering buying as something so cheap. That's usually the deal, right? Buy the dip. Buy the dip has always been something that everybody has always said. Is that going to be the case for oil and natural gas? I don't think so. I'm going to give you the facts, and then I'm going to give you my opinion, and then later I want to hear from you. So make sure you're leaving the comments down below, because I respond to all of them. So whether you agree with me or not, I want to hear from you. I love to hear your perspective, and so make sure you're sticking around to the end of the video to get my opinion so that you can respond. But before I get to the facts, I just want to welcome you to my channel. Hi, my name is Brad, and this is Own the Chaos. The stock market is a crazy and chaotic place, and I've made it my mission to help you own it. So if you want to see more content such as this and help you take a hold of the crazy and chaotic place that is the stock market, hit subscribe, hit that good old notification bell, and give me a thumbs up for today's video. I certainly would appreciate it. Helps me go a long way as far as the algorithm and all that good stuff goes. And so again, I would appreciate the support. All right, so oil, yes, is it a great time to buy right now and buy on the dip? Well, I'm going to give you the facts as to why oil has come down to this point as it stands, and then I'm going to give you my opinion in just a short sec. So some might say that this has a lot to do with China as the virus fears increase, and I'm not going to tell you what virus it is because YouTube has decided to demonetize anything that has to relate to that virus. So I'm just going to say that it is a disease in a heavily densely populated country in Asia. We'll just leave it at that. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, and that is why oil has come down. Everybody thinks that that's the reason. China is the largest oil importer in the world, so that might have a temporary impact on why oil is where it's at right now. But let's go a little bit further into why oil might actually be at this price where it's at today. Blackrock CEO Larry Fink, which if you don't know who he is, he's a very powerful person, more powerful than Warren Buffett, if you can believe that. Blackrock is actually a money manager of over 7 trillion assets. They're one of the largest money managers in the world, if not the largest, if I'm not mistaken. And Larry Fink put out an annual letter to his executives, and I'm quoting this as saying they will avoid investments in companies that present a high sustainability related risk, i.e. oil, coal, any of those unsustainable resources, and that create carbon emissions and affect the climate and that sort of thing. As I stated before, BlackRock is the world's largest asset manager with 7 trillion assets under management, and this move will fundamentally shift its investment policy. And when you see a huge mover or an influencer like that has such power, there's a really good chance that all the other investment companies, all the other money managers are going to follow suit. And actually, BlackRock is a little bit behind the 8 ball along with the rest of America when it comes to this, and it just so happens that Larry Fink is finally jumping on board, because if we look back in December of last year, 631 investors managing more than $37 trillion of assets urged governments to step up efforts to tackle global climate crisis. And we're talking about countries such as France and a lot of the major European countries, and this is just not something that is going away anytime soon. And in fact, we're seeing at an increasingly rapid pace people divesting out of oil and gas stocks and investments to go for cleaner and more sustainable resources. And to further put a hammer down on my point, Britain is to ban the sale of new gas, diesel, and hybrid cars, yes, even hybrid cars, by 2035, 5 years earlier than planned. And France is going to do the same thing by 2040, and Norway as early as 2025. A complete ban on internal combustion engines, including hybrid vehicles. That is seriously impactful. And just to give you a little bit more perspective as to where consumers are and how the UK actually feels about this, diesel and gas models are still account for most new registrations, but electric vehicles rose 144% between 2018 and 2019, according to the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders. So now that I've given you the facts, I'm going to give you my opinion, and my opinion is, why fight this? This isn't a political thing. as much as a lot of people like to make it, this isn't, you know, a fight for one side of the aisle or the other. This is just facts. I gave you facts as to what's going on in the world of finance, and these major investing companies, these major money managers are moving away from these unsustainable resources such as gas, coal, and oil. And it's just a fact. Has nothing. If you take the political part out of it and you just look at the facts as they are, you just got to follow the money, which is ultimately way more powerful than politics will ever be. Money is the most powerful thing that moves the market. After all, money is what we use to trade with, and you can see how this would impact and influence the market as a whole when it comes to divesting from oil, gas, and coal. So at this point, in my opinion, it would be just to follow the money. When you're seeing, you know, Blackrock finally getting on board and 631 investors that are managing $37 trillion of assets are moving away from these resources, you have to be able to shift as well. Fighting it is not going to do you any good. And so looking at companies like Tesla, which I know that we've talked about a lot on this channel, but it's only been because that's where the money is flowing to. There's a reason that Tesla is about to reach $1,000 per share, and people are projecting this to get to $7,000 per share by the middle of the decade. And the reason is because all of these major money managers are going to be moving towards that direction as well. Tesla is just at the forefront of this and has been for some time. And it's pretty incredible to see how a lot of people were making fun of Elon and thinking that he was being ridiculous. And now big money is coming in and saying, okay, you know what? You're onto something here and we want in. And it's not just Elon either. If you go and look at Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, he pledges to be carbon negative by 2030, not just carbon neutral. They actually want to remove more carbon from the atmosphere than it actually emits. And the company is going to be making a huge impact. So if a company, a $1 trillion company such as Microsoft, is going to be making those types of moves, it would only seem natural to assume that all these other major companies are going to be doing the same thing. So I think my opinion is clear that I do not think that it's a good idea to continue to look at oil as a good investment for the future. Even if there might be a good short opportunity to buy the dip here, it wouldn't be wise for me, in my opinion, to stick around for a long time and think that it's going to go right back up to where it was back in the good old days, because I don't think the good old days are here any longer. The good old days rely in renewable energy sources and companies like Tesla and forward-looking, you know, organizations that see the big picture. So now that I've given you the facts and I've given you my opinion, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Do you disagree with me? I would love to hear your comments, and I reply to all of those comments as well. Or do you agree? Do you think that, you know, following the big money here and, you know, resisting is really not wise? I want to hear from both sides of this issue. I would love to hear from you. I have a very open mind. So if you can make an argument that is more compelling than the one that I just made, I certainly would love to hear from you. And I do, again, like I said, reply to all of the comments. So make sure to leave one down there below. And if you're looking to learn from a community of other like-minded traders and investors, I would encourage you to check out WeTradeHQ.com. The links are down in the description below. I go live with folks from every morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time and go over my stock picks throughout the day, what I plan on trading that day, and it's a great community to be a part of. So if you're interested in checking that out, the links are down in the description below. And that's going to do it for me, guys. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure that you give me a good old thumbs up if you like this video, and subscribe and hit that notification bell to get notified every time I put out a new video. And as always, folks, I will see you all before the bell, and B Smith is out. That earnings report, I'm going to give you my opinion, and then I want to hear from you at the end of the video as well. Give me some comments. What are your thoughts on Uber? Are you excited about